Okay. Hello. We're doing another one of these types of videos where I just watch these awful shorts and then basically prove how they are wrong. So let's start.
What would happen if Alexander the Great came back
Nope,
today
wrong one.
and What would happen if Antarctic Research Station got mad and got every country at once?
Haven't I seen this before?
First thing they would do is recruit the little army they can and start invading.
Yes, 5,000 people. Maybe 3,000 if they can.
Their closest neighbor, South Africa, since they
Their
won't
closest neighbor is not South Africa. It is Argentina. And as we saw from the last video, What If Antarctica Got Mad, apparently they're able to mind control penguins. At least it's more creative.
be expecting the attack. Antarctica forces would be able to pierce through.
Maybe like for the first 5 seconds, but I mean, against South Africa, no.
But would pretty soon be outnumbered and demolished.
Hey, they were correct on something.
South Africa would do a counter-invasion, but something scary would happen. South African troops would start disappearing, and when they would send all of their army, something shocking would happen. They would wake up the creatures living in the coldest parts of the Antarctica.
You know, I just praised you for how realistic it had been. Kinda. But then you bring in snow monster. Like, really? This is worse than the mind-controlling penguins.
Would immediately destroy their whole army. The whole world would go into panic mode, and the United Nations would have to act, sending as many soldiers as they can. With the world uniting, beasts wouldn't be able to hold on and would be pushed back. However, something would always be lurking in the
I mean, it's realistic enough. Like, world would kind of be scared of whatever Antarctica's got going down there. They unite their armies to stop the Antarctic monsters. With our military power all combined, yeah, I'd say that's actually pretty realistic. I'll actually give this one a pass for how unrealistic it is. It's pretty good.
What would happen if Vietnam got mad and got revenge on the U.S.? First
That's not the U.S., that's Asia.
thing they would do is recruit their special soldiers and prepare for war. Cambodia and Laos would be their first victims, and
Unstoppable Vietnam.
they would soon fall to the power of the Vietnamese army. Their next victim
Actually, that would probably happen, so I actually agree with that.
would be Thailand, who would have a mite army. However, they would be
Mite army? A mite army. Sorry. That was too funny.
no match for the Vietnam army, who would fight ruthlessly. A surprise
He's not wrong on that.
attack on Myanmar would unfold, who wouldn't have chance to prepare, and
Who wouldn't have a chance, jeez. Whatever AI voice you're using really doesn't know how to use English. Wait. Doesn't know how to speak English. Jeez. Now I said English wrong. It's happening to me! I do agree with this, though. Myanmar wouldn't stand a chance.
would lose. Vietnam would look unstoppable, and this would cause the Asian Defense Pact to be created.
I don't think India and China would ever sign some kind of defense pact. Ever. And the Philippines? There's no way those three would ever sign some kind of defense pact.
Who would consist of China, India, and Philippines. With them sending their army, and U.S. also sending some of their soldiers, Vietnam would be attacked. They would be against impossible odds and would lose. What would happen if Vietnam
I can agree with that. Okay. 2 realistics, semi-realistics in a row. Okay, good. Nope, we do not.
What would happen if the Nazis got mad and got every country they wanted?
The Nazis aren't here. Well, I mean, if all the Nazis united, that still, the neo-Nazis all just decide to unite back in Germany. I mean, sure. I don't think those Nazis would ever decide to just start taking Europe again.
First thing they would do is attack Austria, who wouldn't have time to react and would be destroyed. They would move to attack Czechia and Slovakia at the same time, but that would be harder. German army would have trouble to beat them both, but after recruiting more people, their enemies would finally fall. Poland.
Okay, I can mostly agree with that so far. But there is one giant thing that you have missed. And I say this too often in these videos. NATO.
Poland would know that they are the next target and would fortify their border. However, Germany would be able to pierce through them, taking some of the Polish soldiers out. NATO would immediately try to send
Thank you.
help, but Germany would expect that and would quickly take Denmark, getting naval superiority.
Denmark provides too much naval superiority. Sure.
However, the French troops would now be much stronger and would push through the western part of Germany, with Poland fighting back and French troops advancing. Things wouldn't look so good. With NATO's reinforcements coming, Germany would completely fall apart and would surrender. What would happen if the Nazis...
It was less realistic, but still pretty good. For what it was.
What would happen if the communists took over the U.S. and got everything?
Okay, we're now completely unrealistic. No American would ever let communists take over America.
Every country they want. First thing...
It doesn't matter if you are a newborn baby or a boomer with severe disabilities. They will fight to keep communism out of our country.
Communists would do is create uprisings along the whole country, and when they succeed, America would be completely taken and would become communist. They would
I don't agree with that.
start to spread their ideology across the world.
Wait, that means they're now friends with Cuba.
And their first victim would be Mexico. Their Red Liberation Army would now be too strong, and Mexico would quickly lose. The communist states of America would spread their ideology to the South America, helping the revolutionaries in Brazil and Argentina take control. With two strong allies, they would destroy the whole Central and South America and put them under their control. Canada would be the only one left standing, and with the Red Liberation Army having a couple million soldiers, they would have no chance and would give the
NATO.
Communist states the full control over the world. What would happen if the communist... What would happen if we...
Although, actually, NATO versus America would probably result in America winning. But America becoming communist is, like, as realistic as Saudi Arabia or Iran becoming Christian within the next 5 years. It's not gonna happen. And if it does happen, I will eat my words.
Lionel Messi got mad and got every country...
Wait, who's Messi? It's Messi. Lionel Messi. Oh, he's a soccer player. An ugly one at that. Ugh. Okay. Yeah, learn something new every day.
He wants. Their first victim would be Uruguay, who has a small army and would be destroyed. They would look at Paraguay and Bolivia next, attacking them both at the same time.
I agree that they would probably take over Uruguay, Paraguay, and Bolivia first.
However, they would shock the Argentinians by defending pretty well, forcing Argentina to deploy more forces and finally beat them. Chile would be completely surrounded and forced to surrender, helping Argentina create the Greater Argentinian Empire.
I mean, I don't think one soccer player could do all that. But, I mean, you know, Argentina is definitely one of the stronger powers in that region, so... yeah.
Brazil would be furious and would attack Argentina, wanting to take back the balance of power. However, Argentina would now be...
That's actually probably extremely realistic. They would want a balance in power.
too strong and would push the Brazilian forces far back.
I don't know about that. I think it would generally be more of a draw, to be honest.
The U.S. would try to send help to them, but it would be too late.
No, it would not. The Americans could get the help that Brazil needs pretty quickly.
Brazil would already fall. Argentina would pick off the remaining countries one by one, eventually achieving domination among the continent.
What the heck is that flag?
What would happen if Leon...
And we're just gonna leave it at that. They just dominate the continents. Okay. Although, I think America would try to take back the power in South America. Also, other countries would want to stabilize the power too, so I don't think they'd want Argentina taking over the continent. So I think they would be absolutely obliterated quickly. Nope, we don't like ads.
What would happen if San Marino got mad and got every...
Those aren't the San Marino borders! Oh, it's another one of those. Wonderful. Those aren't the San Marinian borders. That's kind of what makes me angry.
Every country they want. First thing they would do is recruit some Italian states to their cause, making it...
Good luck. That's gonna be real difficult for you.
Italy send their army. However, San Marino would use this to quickly destroy the Italian army.
San Marino doesn't have enough population to even match the Italian army by itself, let alone everything else. Military vehicles, air force, missiles, navy. No way.
And taking nearly all of their territory, forcing them to surrender. With their new territory, they would...
I want this to happen. I would love for this to happen because I love San Marino, but this can't happen.
Sign an alliance with Germany, attacking France together. Germany would run through the Benelux countries,
World War III, potentially?
making UK mad and forcing them to join. However, San Marino would shock everyone and invade France through the mountains.
Quick question. Where else were they supposed to invade from? Switzerland? Germany? Like, that's the only place they could. Maybe the coast. But they would have had to go through the mountains.
And with German troops taking Paris, France would fall once again. US
Why did Germany take all that?
troops would get involved, and with UK and US fighting together, they would free France.
Yeah, the US would free them real fast.
And quickly beat Germany. San Marino would be left alone and would be forced to surrender.
San Marino would be forced to surrender because America, big military, too strong.
What would happen if Iran got mad and formed the...
Yeah, okay, good luck. With their grounded air defense systems, good luck.
Persian Empire today. Their first...
I don't think, honestly, Iran could even do
First
that.
victim would be Iraq, who would quickly be ran over. They would call their allies
I actually agree with that. They would be quickly ran over.
Syria, who would take Israel and other smaller countries.
Have you seen what's happening in Syria? Syria can't even figure out which form of government they have right now, let alone take over. How many is that, like 3 or 4? Because they ain't doing that.
While they would take Azerbaijan and Georgia, securing...
You forgot Armenia. You forgot Armenia. I'm angry now.
in the northern part of their empire. With Syria joining their empire, they would attack Turkey,
Yeah, those some bad borders right there.
which would be pretty hard. However, they would be able to push them back and even take
NATO.
them thanks to their new army. Their final victims would be Egypt and the Central Asian countries, but they would attack Iran
What happened to Kazakhstan being a Central Asian nation?
first, weakening them before they can act. However, Iran would strike back, and after quickly destroying
If a country pushed that deep into the territory, I'd be panicking maybe a little, just saying.
Egypt, they would focus all of their army on Central Asia, taking them to
Why is Kazakhstan not a Central Asian nation?
and finally forming the Persian Empire. What would
That's if Iran can get their planes off the ground.
What would happen if Alaska got mad and declared independence from the United States?
America wouldn't let that happen. We'd make sure we have our oil fields.
First thing that would happen is that the U.S. Army would immediately...
If it's possible, I can cut that out. I really hope I fucking can.
immediately send their army to retake the Alaska. However,
Yes,
Canada
that would happen.
would step in to defend them in hopes of them annexing their territory. A huge battle would begin, and the Canadian army wouldn't have a chance against the American troops. But something shocking would happen, and that is Russia joining to defend.
I think Canada would probably support America. Just generally because, you know, they've been allies for like 100 years now. Also, yes, Russia would probably support Alaska's independence.
To defend the Alaska, helping Canadian soldiers push the U.S. Army out. They would be forced to surrender and admit they lost Alaska. However, Russia would use
I don't know about that.
the situation to occupy Alaska.
Yes! I was thinking that, but I didn't want to say that because I thought it might not happen. But then when I heard Russia, I was like, oh yeah, it's happening.
What would happen if Cristiano Ronaldo got mad?
I know who
got every
that is,
country he
because the one
wanted?
that just barged in is obsessed with Cristiano Ronaldo. I personally find both Messi, the soccer player apparently, and Ronaldo, I don't care. I truly don't care.
First thing
I
they
know
would
there's like a rivalry between them or something.
do is attack Spain, but things wouldn't look so good since their army is much smaller. They would be pushed back, but would call the French to their aid, who would attack
French. If anything, they'd call the British, considering they're like some of the longest lasting allies ever.
the Spanish from behind, helping Portugal bounce back and beat them together. However, Portuguese army would betray the French and even take their whole land.
I don't know about that. I don't even think they would even take either one of those.
They would try to knock the UK out, since
Why? You're allies with them. Like some of the best in the world.
their army is the strongest in Europe. However, this would really backfire, since the UK Navy would crush their forces,
Yes.
helping their soldiers invade the European land. Portugal would try to defend, but to no use. They would be completely pushed and eventually completely demolished. What would
I agree
happen?
with that.
What would happen if Somali pirates got
At
mad, got
least
every
the part
country
where they get absolutely destroyed.
they want? First,
Somali pirates getting a country. Did Somaliland just split? Guess they gained independence.
thing they would do is attack Ethiopia, their biggest enemy.
Shocked they didn't want Somaliland back.
Since their army would be bigger, Somalian pirates would sail to Yemen and take them by surprise, taking their land and soldiers.
I think in like a war between the failed state that is Yemen and the failed state that is Somalia. Between the two, I think Yemen would win. Mainly because they have the Houthis, which, I mean, yes, don't align themselves with Yemen, but the Houthis are allies with Iran. And I don't think the Houthis want to be taken over by some Somalis. So, I think they would make some kind of partnership where they would take down Somalia.
They would have enough strength to defeat Ethiopia now, and the battle would begin. Pirates would take the upper hand and would demolish the Ethiopian forces, growing their pirate army day by day. They would sail
Pirates aren't really good when being landlocked in a desert.
to India and hijack their ships, making them mad.
Why? Like, why not take over weaker African nations? You're semi-stronger than a lot of them now, so why?
They would sneakily invade India, and even
Good luck. Good luck there.
they would take huge parts of their
Okay, sure. Yeah, no. India would absolutely obliterate them.
territory. Indian troops would push them back. With them on the counterattack, an invasion on Somalia would begin, and things wouldn't
Did this guy just not know any other African countries? So he was like, okay, so we're gonna go to India. Like,
look so good. Pirates would try to defend, but with the mighty Indian army, they would scatter, losing this conflict. What would happen if Bulgaria got mad and got
I don't like this one.
revenge on the whole Balkans? First thing they would do is attack North Macedonia.
I will personally join the Macedonian army to defend Macedonia.
They claim it's their territory.
It's not.
Bulgarian army would be too much for them, and they would win their first battle. However, this would make Serbia and Greece attack the Bulgarians, which would be a problem. Turkey would use this situation and join the Bulgarians, and with them together, they would easily defeat their enemies.
I would use the word called NATO in this scenario, but, actually, wait, Serbia is not even a part of NATO, so technically NATO would be on the side of Bulgaria. But they wouldn't, because Turkey and Greece are fighting. I think they just sit this one out and just let Bulgaria just do whatever the hell they want.
Taking their whole land. Their next target would be the whole West Balkans, who wouldn't have a chance against the new Bulgaria.
I think they would have a chance.
They would focus on defeating Romania now, but that wouldn't be so easy. However, Bulgarian troops would push through the Romanian mountains, and it would look like this battle is over. But Turkey would join this conflict to help Romania.
Why? 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 You had a good alliance going, Turkey.
And with being attacked from two sides, Bulgaria...
Hey, Bulgaria dies. Good.
Nah, YouTube is sick for that.
I don't care.
What would happen if Imperial Japan came back and attacked every country?
What demographic does this appeal to? Not Chinese, not Filipino, definitely not Indonesians. We can safely assume all of South... Oh, yeah, no Koreans. We can safely assume that all South Asians just absolutely hate this specific video.
Country at once. First thing they would do is quickly return their mighty army and attack both the South and North Korea at the same time. They would be able to beat them both.
I don't think America would let that happen. I don't think North Korea would let that happen because nukes. And I don't think Russia would let that happen.
Showing the world their true power. After taking
You managed to take over Korea. What a power.
them, they would attack China, their old enemy. Like in the past, they would push the Chinese army far back,
Oh look, they're in Nanking. I wonder what they're doing there.
forcing Russia to join in to help their ally. However, Japan would shock the world and actually beat both Russia and China, forcing them...
You know what? With the technology that Japan has and the lack thereof of technology, specifically military technology that Russia has and some of China, it's plausible.
in them to surrender and give Japan what they want. However, the
Big territory.
would make the same mistake of
What?
attacking
Right there. Right there. Why didn't they get that?
the United States. Even though they would be able to take some of their territory, the U.S. Army would push them back and eventually
Yes,
defeat
they
them.
would.
An invasion on Japan would follow, and even though they would almost scrap the U.S. forces, they would bounce back and beat the Imperial Japan.
Does Japan get two more sons or no?
What would happen if Greenland got mad and got every country at once?
57,000 people. That's just about their population. Good luck.
First thing they would do is recruit as much people as they can and form an attack on Iceland, who
Actually, they could take Iceland. If Greenland got even the slightest bit of military, they could, because Iceland doesn't have a military.
wouldn't be expecting this and would get run over. After getting more territory, they would launch an attack on Norway, but that would...
Okay, Norway does have a military, so, and a good one, too, so... Also, is Greenland in NATO or not? Because, I mean, they're part of Denmark. But I'm assuming here they're independent, so I guess not in NATO, so... NATO.
That would be a little bit harder. The Norwegian troops would put up a great battle, but would eventually be defeated. Their next target would be Ireland, since they would
Good luck. Fighting the Emerald Isles.
try to get territory from the other side. An invasion would begin, and since Ireland doesn't have a strong army, they would be defeated. However, this would force the UK and Sweden to step in and quickly
Oh, looks like NATO's getting involved.
Quickly destroy the Greenland forces in Europe. A counter-invasion on Iceland would follow, after which Greenland would have no defense, resulting in them losing this
They
war.
go back
What
to
would happen
Denmark.
if Greenland got mad?
They were bad.
What would happen if zombie apocalypse broke out today and infected the whole world?
One answer. Nuclear bombs. Or the combined military might of America, NATO, and the rest of the world.
The country apocalypse would start in would be the United States. After an experiment would fail, zombie army would quickly start infecting people.
Of course, it had to come from Ohio.
And most of the U.S. would be in trouble pretty fast.
With the military capabilities that America has? I don't know about that. Also, why did they specifically take over the borders? Why isn't it like all fuzzy here so and it's more accurate? Because zombies don't exactly respect borders. Especially personal boundaries. Come on.
Canada and Mexico would try to close their borders, but it would be too late, since the infection would spread to them pretty
That's a pretty good explanation, but it failed. Okay.
fast. People would try to fight back, but the zombies would pretty soon be holding the entire North America. Russian and European troops would try to free Alaska and Canada, while the rest of the world would attack from the south. Together, they would slowly start freeing them.
I don't know about that. Maybe the zombies would freeze from the cold. Maybe, but I don't. I think the combined world militaries could probably defeat zombies. Like, without America, they're kind of screwed, but generally, yeah, they could do it.
With many survivors joining them to help in the fight, zombies would get obliterated, helping the humans finally free their territory. What would happen?
Very good. Nope, we don't want T-Mobile.
What would happen if every country in Europe started to fight until only one...
Hold on. Go back. Just go back for... Nope.
What would happen if What would happen if every country in Europe started...
First off, Belarus is in Europe. Also, Russia's in Europe. So, also, Turkey's not European.
started to fight until only one remains. First country that would start attacking is Russia, and they would attack Ukraine, Belarus, and the Baltics.
Oh, are they all fighting each other?
Defeating them with their strong army. In the west,
Their strong army, uh-huh. How long has it been since they invaded Ukraine? 2 years? Real strong army, guys.
Spain would take Portugal, while the
Oh, but I thought Portugal was stronger than Spain, because they managed to take it over.
UK would destroy Ireland. France would shock everyone and take Italy, while Germany would dominate and take the whole Central Europe. And the
WW2.
Balkans, Romania would be holding the one half,
Romania?
while Greece would defeat Turkey and take the other half of the Balkans. Russians wouldn't hold back, since they would take the whole Scandinavia for themselves. In the west, Germany would take the UK, while France would be...
Oh, hold on. The Chromebook is dying.
the Spanish. Russia would again attack and take the whole Balkans.
Hold on. Technical difficulties. How the heck do you work this thing? Are we back? Yes, we are alive again. There, normal. Hooray.
Easily, while Germany would be able to defeat the Spanish forces.
Spanish, French, and British? I don't know about that.
The final two countries standing would be Germany and Russia.
Maybe Britain and Germany, not Russia.
And the fight would begin. Russian forces would be too much for the Germans, and this battle would end in their victory.
Is that does this channel have a Russian bias? Maybe, just maybe.
What would happen if Canada got mad and got every country
War crimes have begun.
at once? First thing Canada would do is quickly take Alaska, which would force the U.S. to attack them. However, Canadian troops would hold their position, forcing U.S. soldiers to get tired and attack them after some time. They would be pushed far back, forcing them to surrender and give Canada
don't know about surrender. No, not surrender. America is like the strongest military in the world. Canada, literally their entire military plan is just let the U.S. do it. So, no.
Canada land which they want. Next thing they would do is form an alliance with Ireland, and
Why Ireland? Why not the UK?
together they would attack and quickly beat the UK, getting a part of their land. France would be their next target, but Germany would send help, and together they would get ready
Why not go for Greenland and Iceland?
for this attack. Canadian soldiers would successfully land in France, but that would be a trap. Their troops would be beaten, and their plan would fail. The United States would use this situation and would quickly attack Canada, wanting to get revenge. With them weak now, the U.S. would run through them, ending this battle. What would happen if...
Okay, I can... Yeah, America would absolutely decimate Canada in a war. Ugh, okay, that's about all I got in me. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Bye.